listening to and trying to appeal to publics around the world, in democracies at least, here's something very interesting that I just saw the other day, written by a political science professor, very respected international security expert at Stanford University in the United States. Now, he surveyed opinion in Donald Trump's America about U.S. attitudes to using nuclear weapons. He found 60% of Americans today would approve of killing 2 million, for example, Iranian civilians, if that would prevent a military conflict in which 20,000 U.S. soldiers might die. That's apparently the reality of U.S. public opinion today. How are you going to shift that?
We're going to do a lot of work. This is also what the treaty is for. It's not the end goal. The treaty is the tool to change perceptions. As I said, for 70 years, we have had this kind of acceptance of nuclear weapons, and we face that all the time. People just say, oh, you're never going to be able to change. So, of course, people are going to say that right now.
But it's not even just you're never going to be able to change. It's actually the tide is against you. Donald Trump is proposing to spend tens and tens of billions of dollars upgrading and improving America's nuclear weapons capability. And you can bet that will lead to similar investments in Russia and in China as well. So it's not just sort of coping with the status quo. The tide is running against you.
But there's also a huge growing resistance to that. We've seen in the U.S. Senate that people are starting to be very concerned about who has control of these nuclear weapons. People are worried that someone irrational gets control, someone who can be very easily provoked with a tweet, for example, will have control of the nuclear weapons. And I think that that's really the key. When people start questioning who should have these weapons, and when people start being worried about Kim Jong-un or Donald Trump having control over nuclear weapons, I think you're actually worried about nuclear weapons, because it means that you recognize that deterrence doesn't always work.
Are you suggesting to me that you in the campaign, in the ICAN campaign, see a very clear equivalence between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, for example?
I think we're focused on the weapons, not on who has control of them. There are no right hands for these weapons.
Setsuko, I want to give a final word to you. What did you want to say?
As I listen to you, of course, as an interviewer, you have to challenge us. So you're trying to be devil's advocate, I suppose. I hope you don't really.
Well, I'm trying to reflect on.
Okay.
I'm trying to reflect on 7 decades.
It saddens me as somebody who personally experienced, have seen the entire city just destroyed, obliterated, and hundreds of thousands of people simply scorched, carbonized. And we're talking about human beings in that condition, which is totally unacceptable anywhere, anytime.
My final question to you, because we're almost out of time. You have lived through the most extraordinary period, which...
And I have to say, the whole thing we're talking about is madness. Sheer madness.
But look, my question is this. You've had time over your 80-some years to reflect on human nature.
Yes.
Do you sit here today as one of the most passionate advocates of nuclear disarmament? Do you sit here today truly believing that we human beings are ever going to agree to give up the most potent weapon we've ever invented? Do you believe in your heart we humans are capable of doing that?
I do. If I don't, I can't afford to be in the peace movement. I do. We have achieved a small goal, and we are going to achieve many more before we get rid of all the nuclear weapons. So we're determined.
The ultimate message is learn from history.
Yes. Right. And take action based on your conviction.
We have to end there, but Setsuko Thurlow and Beatrice Finh, thank you both for being on Hardtalk, and congratulations once again on winning the Nobel Peace Prize.